Welcome back to March 1995, and it's a busy time in football. Eric Cantona has just been found guilty of common assault after kung fu kicking a Crystal Palace fan, while Bruce Grobbelaar, Hans Sagers and John Fashanu have all been arrested as part of a match-fixing investigation. And 442 run a huge opinion piece on Paul Gascoigne. Now, Gazza is 27 years old, 27, the same age Declan Rice is now, just for a bit of perspective. And maybe this one hit me a bit differently because Gazza was the player who made me fall in love with football after Italia 90. And honestly, reading this article back now is quite a sad experience because it's less about Gazza's football and more a case for why we should stop feeling sorry for him. The writer describes him as a clown prince, a brawling brat, and a monster, then spends most of the article questioning whether he will ever fulfill the potential everyone saw in him. But the line that really jumped out at me was this one. Finally, he appeared as a nervy, wounded creature seeking redemption on the Danny Baker show with heart-tugging confessions of insomnia. Heart-tugging confessions of insomnia. Imagine writing that today. The strange thing is the writer can clearly see that something isn't right with Paul Gascoigne. He literally describes him as a nervous, wounded creature. There's references to insomnia, pressure, fame, and a young man struggling to cope with becoming one of the most famous footballers in the country. But instead of talking about mental health, anxiety, or addiction, the article talks about monsters, brats, and sympathy. And that's what struck me most reading it. Not whether the writer was right or wrong, just how differently we talked about footballers back then. The really strange part, a year later, Gazza would be starring for England at Euro 96, scoring that goal against Scotland. And knowing everything that happened afterwards, the whole thing just feels incredibly sad. The article ends with the line, "Our sympathy is almost all played out." And 30 years later, I'm not sure I agree. Hopefully these days he's getting the support and help that he needs.